we're live, really.
Hey man, yeah, like not over the phone.
As live as you gonna get us.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Woo!
I ain't gonna put my pretty picture up on that tape recorder.
Them fandangle with the internet folks, we done hunted us down. They already think we drive a tall forward drive.
I guarantee you right there.
Have fun with our cousins.
Yeah, we got like multi-layered, like that dog I got one time. It was this white lab. I looked at its AKC and it was like daddy, grandpa, sister. I was like, woo, that's what they're talking about, man.
You trying to say there was no branches on their tree?
No.
It went from root to tip.
No.
That's just a stick. That ain't a tree.
They call it lime breads.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's definitely one of those, You got a family tree? No, I got a family stick.
Yeah. Well, I called him Box of Rocks.
Box of rocks.
He's dumb.
I was going to say dumb as a box of rocks. Bag of limp hair.
Yes.
Dumb as a bag of limp hair.
That's pretty weak. So we're out here, maybe, I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe it perhaps, how internet legends get started, but we're out here on the pond bank with some Buffalo Trace. I don't know. Buffalo Trace, the signature, this is a 90 proof, corked up, beautiful bourbon. Straight Kentucky whiskey, what it says on there, isn't it? Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Buffalo Trace is hard to get, too. If you're trying to find some, I'd read you the stuff off on here, but I don't have my glasses where I can get them.
Yeah, your eyes too old to read that stuff.
But I'm going to tell you, I can smell of it. This is what I can do right here. I can smell apple. I love that fruity. That's what they call it.
Yeah, it's just a fruity and a couple of different ones. It's not a citrusy fruit. It's just
it's like a flat one. But
yeah,
like an apple. Yeah,
more of a pear, apple.
Pear. Yes.
Some of that.
Pear. Yes, that's a good fruit.
Yeah.
A spice pear. Like
maybe a crab apple. I kind of sometimes wonder if I'm catching crab apple, but it could be a combination of two. But
I'm going to refresh on crab apple. I remember crab apple jelly, but it's been a while.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
But you smell some. I didn't know what they meant by that spice pie stuff, and really you can smell that there.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's a cinnamon, spicy, fruity pie smell almost. Reminds me a little bit of not quite apple, but not quite peach, not quite.
Pear,
but
it's in there.
Yeah,
all of it's there.
So fruity is a very good description,
Well, and I tell you, that's a beautiful bottle. Now, some people hate on it because of the logo. It's kind of worn out, whatever. But I think it kind of feels that reputation. I mean,
oh yeah, it's a pretty bottle.
It's a beautiful bottle.
But for it to have its quote unquote low cost, I think it's a good for at least a sipping bourbon as such, type thing.
I bought that one for $32. And of course, if I just sip on a bottle like that, it'll last me 2 weeks. But now if I get on a Saturday on the evening on a pond bank,
you get on you a kick.
Or by myself, it ain't gonna last that long. But now, I've seen people drink a fifth in a day, but I've heard people drinking half gallon a day, but I ain't never done anything like that.
Well, no, that's just crazy. I mean, that's kind of like one of the, well, man, you just drinking to get drunk and be drinking. You ain't drinking for the, having to get the little experience, because each one has a little different experience to it. I mean, we were talking about, what was it, Casamigas. It's George Clooney's tequila, and just how incredibly different it was from what you would consider even some top shelf tequilas.
That stuff was smooth, wasn't it?
It was so smooth. I mean, I understood when they talk about that's a sipping tequila. It truly is a one that you can appreciate. It don't have that strong alcohol, but you can tell it's tequila.
Oh yeah.
There's no doubt it is tequila, but it is just so good. So we've had a couple of these better ones, and I was really surprised in.
So now we just had that Elijah Craig. That's different right there. That's a bourbon, but it's like bourbon has to be 51% corn. That thing's 80% corn. I mean, it's way most of them this one right here is like 70% corn. That thing there, there's a lot of corn in it. You can tell that sweet corn and that stuff. It's powerful to me.
Well, it's probably a lot of that fruity to it as well. Then
Yeah.
Most likely, I don't know, because again, the manufacturers that do that stuff, They are brewmasters. I mean, they know. I mean, when something's not quite right, because the ratios are all almost art to them. I mean, I know they got computers and all this kind of stuff that helps them get repeatability, but there's still there's an art to the finishing.
That's right.
To the finishing, to make them taste consistently the same. That takes a touch of an experienced hand. Right.
Well, they had the guy at that Buffalo Trace, and his name is, I shared a video with you of him, Johnson maybe. I can't, God, I may have been out here in Palm Bank too long.
I think you've been out on the Palm Bank too long. I just got here, and he's like, man, let's go to Palm Bank.
But now look here. Now, he talked about that whiskey, and he said he went through some things that was pretty interesting. His dad, it was like he was like the third generation inside of this distillery right here, Buffalo Trace. And his dad was passing away, and he couldn't drink that straight whiskey because he was just sick. And he said just put a little bit of Diet Pepsi with it.
Right.
And he said, what he learned then is like, however you like to do bourbon is good for you. There's nobody can judge how you do bourbon. It's it's all you. People do it for different reasons, and a lot of people want to drink that clear whiskey, that vodka and all that kind of business. And I mean, I'm sure it has its place, but whenever you get something like this, you're buying time, because that is aged in a barrel. Every time you see a bottle that says bourbon on it, straight Kentucky bourbon, it's been at least 2 or 3 years inside of them, and probably longer than that. Most of them are like 4 to 7 years.
Well, let's see, what was it? It's 4 to 7 years to be called a bourbon.
I think so. Well,
this would be I would call it a medium low shelf bourbon. Most people would call it that. Maybe I don't have a sophisticated enough taste to call it more than that. But to me, this is not necessarily a top shelf, but it is show there and solidly in the very middle.
Well, it's definitely there.
And so.
Well, we've had those scotches that are 12 years old, that are single malts, that are blended with three different single malts, like the Monkey Shoulder and stuff like that. And that stuff here, this is I dig this. This is a bottle I can sit out here, I can enjoy, and I don't have to feel bad about how much money I spent on it.
Oh yeah. You don't feel like, ooh, I just cleared a bottle of Glenfiddich 12.
Yeah. $160.
Yeah, so ooh, I might as well took a match to that, because I just peed it all away.
Yeah. And this is $32. This is like
unless you get really unlucky and somebody finds it and they drink it and just puke it all the way in the floor.
Oh yeah, that really fucking sucks there, man.
Yeah, it does. Don't know anybody that's happened to at all, though.
Well, I can assure you. I've probably done it to people too.
Most likely. You one of them go, well, he didn't bring out the good shit.
Don't. Well, I'm gonna tell you though. Like I said, I started looking. So we talked about some variables out there of like how much money Americans spend, and one of the milestones was sex toys, and that was like $18 billion a year in the United States. Ice cream was 1/3 of that at $6 billion. Beef was about 1/2 of that at $9.
Yeah, it was about half. Yeah.
And alcohol was $920 billion. So what does that tell you?
Well, what it tells me is, alcohol's easy to get. Everybody likes it. Now, hey, everybody's got different experiences and reasons why to do it. But the sex toy industry, yeah, that just means, people like they sex.
Yeah, they do. Well, you need something to get it going sometimes. That's what they say. I don't know.
You need something to get it going sometimes, but there might be times you just got to fly solo, and you want some help.
Well, that's exactly what that is too.
I mean, ain't no judgment here, baby. I'm open-minded about all that kind of stuff.
Okay, do the math here. Okay, you've got 350 million people in the United States, divided by 18 billion divided by 350 million. That is approximately $45 per person. We talked about trucks, but we both had cars too. You hated on me, but I remember our junior prom. We talked about the other shit, but our junior prom, we were both. No. I was in a fucking truck and you were in a fucking car.
Yeah, well, that was some of that.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah. I like that car though. That Mercury is like a Mustang.
It was. It was actually. I don't remember the exact year.
Was it a
model.
6? It was a 6.
Yeah, it was a 6. And what it was is it was a Ford.
It was a Mercury something.
Yeah, it was a Mercury Ford. It was one of those products,
Yeah.
but it was the hatchback Mustang in the Mercury model.
What was that thing called?
Yeah, well, you remember in 1984 they turned the Mustangs into like a hatchback.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Right. Well, this
Some of
was basically that exact body style, but like in a Mercury or another.
What was that thing called?
Gosh, I don't
Mercury.
remember.
It wasn't Tempest.
No. It was
wasn't like
weird.
that. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, that was a nice car.
Yeah, well, it was kind of cool. It was interesting, but it was still, Yeah, the first vehicle I purchased was the vehicle we were
Ford.
talking about, the Ford.
Yeah, the
and
truck.
it was not a car, so beggars can't be choosy all the time. But
yeah.
now you at the same time, now you went to cars and stuff, not necessarily by choice. You know, we were talking about your music thing. You had a little bit of a revelation we didn't get to actually talk about was that the time your job skills and what you were doing put you on the road a lot.
Yeah.
So you got in, you were already way more into the music than I ever was. But at the same time, you had so much more time on the road. Well, having a truck don't make any sense when you're...
No, you don't want to be driving a truck when you're driving 1,300 miles a week.
Right, yeah. Of course,
2,500 miles a week. No,
right. And, of course, now later in life, you're like, well, I like a truck. I want my truck back.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And I totally understand that, So
Well, I mean, that's
I
where it
messed
should
with you
be.
about it because, being a Southern guy, oh, Nicky Brad, that little Prius. Oh, man, where's the
my
rubber
Prius.
band? Where's the rubber band? Well, honestly, man, you remember the first time I ever actually rode in a Prius and was near one? I knew what they were. Was the one you had.
Yeah.
I think I was between marriages. Excuse me. That was if anybody heard that was just a shot. We're out here in the country,
gunshot.
so we're used to that.
And what is it? It was not at us.
Yeah, it wasn't us. It was just general. Hell, it could have been a piece of tin falling. Who knows? Hey, man, let's go noodling for some catfish.
Yes.
And anybody don't know what that is, go look up noodling for catfish.
Well, you can do it right here if you
Well,
want to.
well, if there's
if I saw a hole over there a little bit ago, but I'm not putting my hand in it.
Yeah, is there a ledge deep enough?
Well, you'd have to lay out flat.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you.
I'm not doing it.
My sack ain't big enough to do noodling anymore.
No,
now,
not
when I was
anymore.
younger, we probably would have because some of the crazy crap we did, man.
I mean, just being near water, bodies of water. People talk about it. And like, I mean, you just think about how many hours we spent, near a creek or a river. But there's a lot of. Look there, man. There's a lot of interesting things out there if you go out in nature and look, especially this time of year when it's getting kind of green.
Well, I can go ahead and tell you, man. It's really nice, this kind of thing. I think it's time for a little green. Hey, bud.